Hello everybody, Board Game Lawyer here. It is a Monday evening and I'm looking forward to playing some Marvel Champions from Fantasy Flight Games. And I'm going to call this Bishop Week. I'm on a Bishop kick here lately, and so I'm going to be playing some Bishop this evening. I've been testing out some decks in Leadership, and I made a little tweak to my Fistful of Resources deck. Made a couple of changes, and I'm going to try those out here this evening. And I'm going to try those out against Sabretooth. So Sabretooth is the bad guy today. He is a villain with a scheme of one, an attack of one, and there is a force response next to both of those activations. Scheme of one, attack of one. It's a force response. It says after Sabretooth attacks or activates against you, discard the top card of the encounter deck. Heal damage from Sabretooth equal to the number of boost icons discarded this way. So he is a healer. He will heal himself up based upon how many boost cards are flipped over, discarded this way. Okay, so that is Sabretooth. You'll notice that we're using Sabretooth 1, so we'll have Sabretooth 1 and 2 today, and that's the contents of our main scheme, Sabretooth 1 and 2, and the standard set, but actually I decided to use Standard 3 today. So Standard 3 is a brand new standard encounter set that's found in the Age of Apocalypse campaign box. And there is an environment that is a permanent setup environment that's part of this modular set. And this says that it has a force response. After you place pursuit counters here, if the number of counters here is at least 3 more than the number of players, remove each counter here. If your Nemesis minion is in play, it activates against you. Otherwise, flip this card over. And then there's text on the other side that we'll look at when we get to that point. But it says, importantly, if the number of counters here is 3 more than number of players, so if it reaches the 4 threshold, then we know that there is an activation that needs to take place here. There's an arrow, and there's text that we'll need to read. So that's Standard 3 environment in play. And then it tells us as part of the contents that we use 2 modular sets, which it recommends Brotherhood and Mystique, but I've taken both of those out, and instead I have replaced them with Genosha and Extreme Measures. Now the Genosha modular set comes in the Age of Apocalypse campaign box, and Extreme Measures comes in the Next Evolution campaign box. And so those are the 2 modulars that I'll be including today. And part of that Genosha has another environment that's part of the setup, and it says the villain gains steady. So it means that it requires 2 of the same status card in order to either stun or confuse him, right? That's what steady means. And there's a special here, which is referenced on some of the cards that will come into play, and it's place 1 threat on the main scheme. And then it says, when revealed, discard each other setting environment in play. Well, this is a permanent setup, so it cannot be discarded. And so we just have 2 setup environments that are going to exist on the table today together. All right, next we have our setup, which is to put the Find the Senator side scheme into play, attach Robert Kelly to it. And while attached to Find the Senator, Robert Kelly is in play, but under no player's control. So here's the Find the Senator side scheme, and it says that Robert Kelly cannot be healed by player card effects and cannot have upgrades attached. When defeated, the first player detaches Robert Kelly from the scheme and takes control of him. Advance to main scheme 2A. Flip this card and place it next to the main scheme, and there's a crisis icon on here, meaning that we cannot remove threat from the main scheme while Find the Senator is on the table. And then it begins with 5 threat on it in solo. All right, now Robert Kelly is the ally who is attached to the Find the Senator. He has a thwart of dash, an attack of dash, which means he has none. He has 9 health. He's a senator. And it says the first player controls Robert Kelly. He does not count against your ally limit and cannot have player cards attached. Forced interrupt. When an enemy resolves an undefended attack against you, deal that damage to Robert Kelly. Okay. So we've read everything except now we have to flip our main scheme, Stalked by Sabretooth, and we'll flip it over to its 1B side, and it does not have a threat threshold here, but there is a lose condition, and that is if Robert Kelly leaves play, the players lose the game. Well, how is it possible that he could leave the game? Well, let's look at the force response here. When we place threat on the main scheme, it says force response after resolving step 1 of the villain phase. Deal 2 damage to Robert Kelly, 3 damage instead if there's at least 3 threat here. And then it says while Robert Kelly is attached to the Find a Senator, treat his text box as if it were blank. So we're just going to ignore his text box over here while he's attached to Find a Senator. He's there hiding under the desk. And it says that after resolving step 1 of the villain phase, that's when we start doing damage to Mr. Kelly over here. So definitely don't want to do that. We're going to pop him out so that we can see how much damage is on him. All right, so that's everything on the bad guy side of the table, right? And now we're going to look at our hero side of the table, and that is Lucas Bishop, who has a recovery of 4. I'm calling this Bishop Week because I've been playing with him for several games in a row now and having lots of fun with Bishop. I really, really like this new hero in the game. In his alter ego, he is mutant and temporal, and he's also temporally displaced, meaning that there's a response that after you change to this form, add a temporal card in your discard pile to your hand. All right, now he begins with a hand size of 6, and he has hit points of 12. All right, so all we have left to do, we're not going to look at his hero side just yet until we flip over. So all that we need to do now is deal ourselves 6 cards. And let's see how we're going to begin this game. So we have Stored Energy, we got Hawkeye, we got Command Authority, and we've got Innovation. We've got Plan B and Randall, and these are all great cards to begin the game with. I almost hate that I have Hawkeye in my hand already and Plan B in my hand already. I do like the fact that I've got Command Authority here. Remove 3 threat from a scheme if you paid for this event with a resource card, draw a card. So I tell you what, I'm probably not going to be able to play all of these cards here at the beginning of the game. So I'm going to discard some. I'm going to discard Randall. I'm going to discard Hawkeye. I'm going to hang on to Plan B for now, and I'm going to hang on to Innovation, Command Authority, and Stored Energy. Well, Innovation, I don't have any allies currently, so let's go ahead and discard that one too, with hopes that we're going to get some multiple resources here. So, all right, let's draw 3 more cards. We're going to draw Energy Conversion, which is a defense card. We'll draw Call for Aid, and we'll also draw Caliban. Caliban says, after Caliban enters play, discard cards from the top of your deck until X Factor, X Force, or X-Men ally is discarded, and add that ally to your hand. So that could be really helpful. I think I'm going to go ahead and flip over to my hero side. And I will use Call for Aid. So we're going to go try to find, it says discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard an Avenger ally. Add that ally to your hand. Alright, so let's go hunting for an Avenger ally. I'll just flip these cards off to the side here so that we can see what they are. There's Make the Call, Strength, Black Panther. Alright, so Black Panther is going to come into our hand. We'll discard these cards. And I do believe I want to... Let's see, do we want to put Black Panther out now? I've got Stored Energy that I could use to pay for him. I have Energy Conversion, which I could also use to pay for him. And I've got Caliban, which I could use to pay for him. Or I could put out Caliban, which may not be a bad idea. And it says, after Caliban enters play, discard cards from the top of your deck until an X Factor, X Force, or X-Men ally is discarded, and add that ally to your hand. So I do kind of like that idea. So let's put Caliban out. Let's spend Energy Conversion, and we'll also spend that Stored Energy to put him out. And now we'll discard cards and look for an X Factor, X Force, or X-Men ally and add it to our hand. So there's Malcolm, and there he is. Malcolm comes into our hand. These findings happened a lot sooner than I expected them to. So So it's kind of a bummer. But anyhow, Caliban discards to find Malcolm. So now we got Malcolm in our hand. And I definitely think we're going to use that command authority. It says remove 3 threat from a scheme if you paid for this event with a resource card. Draw 1 card. Well, we're definitely not going to do that. So I'm going to use Black Panther and Malcolm to pay for command authority. Remove 3 threat from a scheme if you paid for this event with a resource card. Draw 1 card. Didn't pay for it with a resource card. I paid for it with allies, and that's just crazy. All right. There we go. We're going to discard those. Command authorities. We're going to take 3 threat off of Find the Senator. So we'll discard that. There's only 2 threat left on Find the Senator. So it says the first player detaches Robert Kelly from the scheme when defeated. This is what happens. And takes control of him. Advance to main scheme 2A. Flip this card and place it next to the main scheme. So, yeah, we're going to exhaust Bishop to remove 2 threat off of Find the Senator. We're going to take control of Robert Kelly. Then it tells us to advance the scheme to 2A. So here we are. Now we have the injured Senator. Deal each player a face down encounter card. We'll set it over here by Pursued by the Past. And we'll flip over the injured Senator. And now 2B says, when completed, defeat Robert Kelly. If Robert Kelly leaves play, the players lose the game. So if we reach a threat threshold of 9, game over, man. All right, so now we'll find the Senator for our final act on this card. It says flip this card and place it next to the main scheme. And there it is. So protect the Senator. It says Robert Kelly cannot be healed by player card effects and cannot have upgrades attached. Hero response. After your hero defends against an attack from Sabretooth, spend 2 resources of any type. Ready your hero. Only the player who controls Robert Kelly can trigger this ability. All right. So now we have Caliban. There is no threat on the injured Senator. I could put 2 damage from Caliban into Sabretooth. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, we'll exhaust Caliban to put 2 damage into Sabretooth. 1 consequential damage onto Caliban, and that will end my turn. So what did I draw in my hand? I got Genius. I got Bishop's Uniform. I've got Effective Leadership and Concussive Blast. Now let's take a look at Bishop's Energy Absorption, which is a response. After Bishop takes any amount of damage from an attack, discard an equal number of cards from the top of your deck. Add each resource card discard this way to your hand. All right, so we will place that 1 threat on the injured Senator. And Sabretooth is going to attack Bishop. We'll defend that. So he's going to attack us for 2. Plus this card right here. It says after this activation resolve, place 1 pursuit counter on Pursued by the Past. So we'll move this over here for now to remind us of that. So after this activation resolves, we're going to put a pursuit counter on this card over here. And so Sabretooth is going to attack us for 2 minus 1 because of our defense. So we're going to take 1 damage. And we will let's see. Heal 1 damage from Sabretooth. Equal number of boost icons. Discard this way. So we haven't done that yet. He's attacked Bishop. We've taken 1 damage, and it says after Bishop takes any amount of damage from attack, discard equal number of cards from the top of your deck. Add each resource card this way to your hand. So here's the card we're going to discourse. It's Energy. Well, that's great. And then we're going to use that to protect the Senator. After your hero defends against an attack from Sabretooth, spend 2 resources of any type. Ready your hero. All right, so we're going to spend 2 energy to ready our hero. Only the player who controls Robert Kelly can trigger this ability. Okay, So we are, after this activation, resolve, place 1 pursuit counter on pursued by the past. So there we go for that. And since Sabretooth activated, after Sabretooth activates against you, discard the top card of the encounter deck. Heal damage from Sabretooth equal to the number of boost icons discard this way. So here we go. And he heals for 1. So he goes back up to 12. Alright, so here's our encounter card. So we have one that we dealt ourselves earlier. Here's the other one. Here's the first one, and it is Dark Designs. It says place 1 pursuit counter on pursued by the past, that if it has any counters on it, the villain schemes. Alright, so Dark Designs, we're going to place 1. There is now 2 pursuit counters on pursued by the past. So Sabretooth is going to scheme for 1, plus this card here. And it says attach this card to Sabretooth, so it says Animal Ferocity. So let's make some room for that. And what does this attachment do? It says attached to Sabretooth. Sabretooth gains Stalwart. This character cannot be stunned or confused. The hero action says to spend an Energy, Genius, and Strength card and discard this card. Okay, so he's going to scheme for 1, we know. So we're going to place 1 threat on the injured senator. Discard Dark Designs. And then because he activated again, now he's going to heal, and he's going to heal for another 1. And so now he's back up to his starting hit points of 13. Alright, and we still have another encounter card to deal with. So here it is. It says Unrelenting Savage. When revealed hero, we'll read that part of the text. Sabretooth attacks you. If he has no sustained damage, he gets +1 for this activation. Well, he healed all the way back up. So he has no sustained damage. So he is going to get +1 for this activation. I'll do it again. I'll defend it. And he's going to attack us for 2 now. Plus this card. 2 more. So he's going to hit us for 4. -1 is 3. So I'll take 3 damage. And then I discard 3 cards, and they are Digging Deep, which will go right directly into my hand. This card here, Pixie, is discarded, and then this one, Band Together. Okay, so that is also a resource that comes into my hand. So we'll discard Unrelenting Savage, and now we'll discard Medical Emergency, and Protect the Senator says, after your hero defends against attack from Sabretooth, I can spend 2 more resources. So I do have Band Together. And it says this card gains resources equal to the number of allies I control, maximum of 3. So I do have 2 allies now on the table. I've got Robert Kelly and Caliban are my allies. And so we'll discard Band Together to Ready Bishop. All right, so that is going to end Sabretooth's turn. It was a good turn for him. And I'll begin my turn. So I do have a Concussive Blast that says deal 6 damage to an enemy if you paid for this event with a resource card, Ready Bishop. So I could use Bishop before I use the Concussive Blast. Now it'll do 6 damage. And this is the turn where we really want to try to put some damage into Sabretooth. So Concussive Blast will allow us to ready. So we've got Digging Deep and Genius, which that'll allow me to ready myself, and then I can use Effective Leadership. And when you spin this card to play an ally, that ally gets +1 Thor. We don't have any allies in my hand, so we're just going to use it as a resource. And then I could use Plan B also as a resource. Now, did I take damage earlier? Yeah, three damage to hit to Bishop. Yes. So that Bishop's Uniform could come in handy. After you resolve Bishop's Energy Absorption ability, exhaust Bishop's Uniform, heal 1 damage from Bishop for each resource card in your hand. I like that. So yeah, Bishop is going to lay 2 damage into Sabretooth. And then we'll do the Concussive Blast. So we'll spend a Digging Deep card, and we'll spend Genius to play it. And it says deal 6 damage to an enemy if you paid for this event with a resource card, Ready Bishop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into Sabretooth. We're going to discard Concussive Blast. We'll ready Bishop. I will exhaust Bishop to do 2 more damage to Sabretooth. And then we'll exhaust Caliban to do 2 more damage into Sabretooth, placing another consequential damage onto Caliban. Alright, so Bishop is used up. I am going to put out Bishop's Uniform. That is a wonderful card, especially for this type of deck that I've got. I'm going to use Effective Leadership and unfortunately use my Plan B to pay for it. But it's just going to come in handy with the ability to potentially heal back up again. So, all right, so that is going to end Bishop's turn. I'll advance the phase and turn things back over to Sabretooth. All right, and what did I get? I got Call for Aid, Command Authority, Energy Conversion, and I got Band Together. So now, again, just as a reminder, Bishop's Uniform says after you resolve Bishop's Energy Absorption ability, exhaust Bishop's Uniform, heal 1 damage from Bishop for each resource card in your hand. Right now I only have 1 resource card in my hand, but hey, I'll take a heal if I can get it. So we'll place 1 threat on Find the Senator. Sabretooth is going to attack Bishop. Bishop's going to defend this attack, and he's going to attack for 2, plus this card here, which is another 1. Sinister Strike. So he's going to hit us for 3. -1 is 2, so I'll go down to 6, and I discard 2 cards. First one is Supercharged. Second one is Bishop's Rifle. Boy, I hate to lose both of those. Did not discard a resource. Discard Sinister Strike. Yeah. Bishop's Uniform. Let's see. Did I take my damage? Yeah. 2 damage. After you resolve Bishop's Energy Absorption, exhaust Bishop's Uniform, heal 1 damage for each resource card in your hand. So we'll heal for 1. We'll go up to 7. And then I'll spin that Band Together because I do have 2 allies on the table. So we'll discard both of those, or discard that to ready Bishop back up. And then Sabretooth is going to heal. And we're going to heal him for... It says if Escape Mutant is attached to your identity, this card gains triple resources. That's the Magistrate. Alright, so he's not attached. So there are no boost icons on there then. That's fine. And so Sabretooth is not going to heal. So we'll discard Magistrate. And the encounter card is Fear the Future. You may flip to Alter Ego form, choose, exhaust Lucas Bishop, remove Fear the Future from the game, or we can discard this card and each resource card in your hand. If no resource cards are discarded this way, this card gains search. So I am going to flip to my Alter Ego form, I believe. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Flip to my Alter Ego form. Exhaust Lucas Bishop. Remove Fear the Future from the game. Now, whenever I flipped, there's a response here. It says, after you change this form, add a temporal card in your discard pile to your hand. Let's go find one. Look at all cards. And I believe I'm going to take, let's see, Command Authority, remove 3 threat. Or... let's see, I just recently threw off my rifle, and that's a temporal weapon. So I'm going to grab it. I'm going to grab my Bishop's Rifle and put it in the hand. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right, so then I'm going to remove Fear for the Future from the game by exhausting Lucas Bishop. Okay, we'll just move it to the victory display to get it out of the way for now. And that is the end of Sabretooth's turn. All right, so I got Call for Aid, which would cause me to deck out because I only have 2 Avenger allies in my discard pile. But it would allow for me to get some additional resources, and so I do like that idea. It is a hero action, so I'm going to have to flip up to my hero side. All right, and so I'm still exhausted. but I am going to play Call for Aid. And so I'm going to discard cards until I find an ally and add it to my hand, an Avenger ally. So band together, that is not White Fox. So it says after White Fox is discarded from the top of your deck, put her into play under your control. So now I've got White Fox under my control, but we still haven't found an Avenger ally, so we'll discard another card, Concussive Blast, Stored Energy. We discard Effective Leadership, Power of Leadership, Triskelion, Stored Energy, Digging Deep, which that'll come into my hand, Digging Deep. And then I've got Supercharged, still no Avenger ally, another Digging Deep card, and one more, and that is the Power of Leadership. So I decked myself using Call for Aid. So I'll discard all of those cards, and then I am going to shuffle them all into my deck, the discard pile all into my deck. And I will deal myself an encounter card because I decked myself, so I'll set it over here next to Pursued by the Past. Call for Aid is now discarded. And I did get White Fox, and I got Robert Kelly. Caliban, let's see what I got now. So I do have Bishop's Rifle. I would like to get some more resources so that I can make that count. I could Call for Aid to go find an Avenger ally. And I'll have two choices. I do have Black Panther in my deck now, since we cycled the deck. And I also have Hawkeye in there, which that would be the one I'd rather have. So I could either hang on to Call for Aid for now. I will only potentially get one more Digging Deep card, and I've got White Fox on the table. So probably not advantageous at this point, no, to do that. We do have Command Authority, which says remove 3 threat from a scheme. If you paid for this event with a resource card, draw a card. Which may not be a bad idea. I think first, though, we're going to spend Call for Aid and Energy Conversion, both of these cards are resources, to put out Bishop's Rifle. And now with Bishop's Rifle, we could do damage to Sabretooth, because we do have resources in our hand. This card says it is restricted. It's a hero action. Exhaust Bishop's Rifle. Choose an enemy. Deal 1 damage to enemy for each resource card in your hand. This attack gains ranged. Probably not. I think what we're going to do is use White Fox now, because she just has that one attack to do 1 damage to Sabretooth. So we'll knock him all the way down to 0. We'll discard him. We're going to bring out Stage 2 of Sabretooth, and it's tough. It has a toughness. It says after Sabretooth activates against you, discard the top of the encounter deck. Heal damage from Sabretooth equal to the number of boost icons discard this way. We've seen that before, right? And I think I will just go ahead and use Bishop's Rifle to knock the tough off of Sabretooth. And then I'll use these 2 cards, Digging Deep and Digging Deep, to play the Command Authority. Command Authority, remove 3 threat from a scheme. If you paid for this event with a resource card, which we did, we're going to draw a card. So we'll take 3 threat off of the injured Senator. Discard Command Authority, and we get to draw 1 card, and it is a Genius card. And we'll just hang on to that. And we will end our turn. I'll leave Caliban out here on the table. He's fine for now. White Fox is here. We got our rifle, and we got our uniform, which are all handy. So we'll advance the phase. We'll turn things back over to Sabretooth and see what he can do with his turn. We do got Make the Call. We got the Triskelion. We got Supercharged, Band Together, and Genius. So we got some really nice cards in our hand here to begin the next turn. All right. So we'll place 1 threat on the injured Senator. Sabretooth is going to attack us. Bishop is going to defend. Sabretooth is going to attack us for 2 now. Plus 1 is 3. So we will take 2 damage. And we'll discard 2 cards for that damage. We got Call for Aid that's discarded. And Band Together. We did get another Band Together card. So we'll discard Call for Aid. Discard Unrelenting Savage. We've got Bishop's Uniform that we can exhaust. After you resolve Bishop's Energy Absorption ability, exhaust Bishop's Uniform. Heal 1 damage from Bishop for each resource card in your hand. I have 3 resource cards in my hand right now, so we can heal Bishop up to 8. And then we can use the Protect the Senator. After your hero defends against an attack from Sabretooth, to spend 2 resources of any type. Ready your hero. Only the player who controls Robert Kelly can trigger this ability. So I use one of these Band Together cards to I'll use a Band Together to ready Bishop. Alright, and then Sabretooth is going to heal. Not really, because he's at 15 right now. So he does not heal for 2. So we'll discard that card. He is going to deal us an additional encounter card. So that first encounter card is Nowhere is Safe. It's part of the standard 3 set. And it has a boost. It says after this activation resolves, place 1 pursuit counter. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We're using the When Revealed ability, which is to place 1 pursuit counter on Pursued by the Past. Then if it has any counters on it, discard an upgrade or support you control. Well, we are going to place 1 onto Pursued by the Past. It's now up to 3. And it says after you play this Pursued encounter, which it does, discard an upgrade or support you control. So I either discard Bishop's Uniform or I discard Bishop's Rifle at this point. And I don't want to lose either one of them, but they're both temporal, so if I do decide to flip down, I could go grab them again. So since I've already used Bishop's Uniform this turn, I'll go ahead and discard it, and then that's going to discard Nowhere is Safe. And then our next encounter card is Tempo. It says when Tempo is engaged with you, you get +1 hand size. Oh, okay, I'll take that. And then her force response is after she activates, after Tempo activates against you, discard cards from the top of your deck equal to twice the number of cards in your hand. Well, look at that. That could be pretty handy, actually. For Bishop, anyway. So, yeah, we'll put Tempo down here underneath Pursued by the Past. So we know that we've got that minion working against us, so to speak. All right. My turn. Let me look and see if the Make the Call makes any sense right now. Let me see if there's any cards in the discard pile. Look at all cards. I don't think, any allies in the discard pile. I don't. Not yet. I could get Caliban. That could be handy. Kind of like that idea. So, Caliban, Triskelion, Supercharged, Band Together, Genius. Let's see, what do I want to do? I want to start doing some damage into Sabretooth. Probably not a bad idea. I've only got 2 resources in my hand at this point. So how about Bishop's Rifle? To take down Sabretooth. Hit him for 2. Knocks him down to 13. Caliban, we'll use him to knock him down to 11. And we'll need to discard Caliban. So he's gone. White Fox, we'll use her to hit Sabretooth for 1. And we'll add 1 consequential damage to White Fox. Band Together. It says generates a resource for each ally you control, but I'm looking at Supercharged. I was meant to look up this rule. It says discard a resource card from your hand. Place 1 charge counter here for each resource icon on that card. Now this generates resources, but it doesn't show any resource icons on the card, so I don't think that works for Supercharged. I really don't. Could be wrong. But I could use it for Make the Call. And I do have two allies on the table. So I could use Band Together and the Triskelion, both of those, to make the call. spending 3 resources to go find Caliban and put him into play. And then Caliban says that after Caliban enters play, discard cards from the top of your deck until an X Factor, X Force, or X Men ally is discarded, and add that ally to your hand. So here we go. We're going to discard cards. Stored Energy, Concussive Blast, Hawkeye, Strength, Band Together, Effective Leadership, Digging Deep goes into our hand, Plan B, and there's Malcolm. Alright, so now we have a Malcolm. I need to do 10 damage to Sabretooth. Bishop could do 2, and if we use the supercharged, we could do 3, 4, 5, 6. We could do 8 damage. Just about there. Otherwise, we put Malcolm out. And we would need a printed fist resource to heal him and ready him back up again. I've got Caliban on the table, though, so that could be all she wrote, right? I think that's it. I think that's game over. Because I did bring Caliban back out. So we're going to exhaust Caliban to do 2 damage to Sabretooth. We'll put the supercharged card out on the table. We're going to use Genius to add two counters to it. We'll use Digging Deep to place another counter on supercharged. Let's just make sure of our text here. It says Hero Interrupt. When you make a basic attack, discard supercharged, you get +2 for the attack. For this attack for each charge counter here to a maximum of +8. Well, we're going to get +6. So we'll discard supercharged. So we're going to give +6 to our already existing 2 attack to attack Sabretooth for 8. And it knocks him all the way down to 0. Alright, I think that is the end of the game, unless I'm just going to look through here. After your hero defends, yes, we spent the resources to ready back up again. We only had 1 threat left at the end of the game on the injured Senator. Sabretooth, we had knocked his toughness off. We didn't have anything other than Stalwart. Genosha placed a threat on the main scheme. I didn't see any specials pop out. Pursued by the Pass, only got 3 counters on that, if I did that correctly. If I missed one, sorry. And then Tempo says that when she would attack against us, we can discard cards from the top of your deck equal to twice the cards in your hand. That could be really good for Bishop in this particular deck, because that's what we really want to do, is discard cards. So Tempo wouldn't be so bad. So anyhow, it looks like that's a victory this evening against Sabretooth using Bishop. Really liking the Bishop character, and I'm liking this particular build. Now, if you were keeping inventory of my resources as we were going through the game today, you'll notice that there were, we'll count them up here. How many resources do I have? And I have effective leadership. I have not a lot here in the draw deck. I've got innovation. I've got stored energy. This one is the power of leadership. I've got another power of leadership. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards there so far. I've got energy. I've got a stored energy. So that's what's left in my deck. We'll toss the rest of these cards over here for now. Genosha, Pursued by the Past. So let's look at our draw deck. So supercharged, here's Genius, Digging Deep, Plan B, Effective Leadership, Band Together, that's number 11, I believe. We got Strength, number 12, Hawkeye, Concussive Blast, Stored Energy, 13, Triskelion, Make the Call, Band Together, 14, Bishop's Uniform, Band Together, 15, Call for Aid, Command Authority, Digging Deep, 16, and another Digging Deep card, 17. I believe that's all the resources that I had in my deck today. But that's 17 resources. So the builds that you can do with our buddy Bishop here are just kind of ridiculous with all the resources you put in. But it's interesting that that's a new way to build a hero, that you can take advantage of all these wonderful new types of resources that we got. Now at the beginning, all we had was aspect resources, right? The power of leadership, power of aggression, power of we just had those at the beginning, as well as the generic energy, genius, and strength. Those were the only types of special resources or extra resources that we had at the beginning of the game. Resource cards, I should say, that we had when the game first launched. But since then, we've got things like effective leadership that we can use, digging deep, band together, and I like how you can take advantage of all these different brand new innovation is another one. How you can take advantage of all these different types of new resources in the same deck. Now I'm sure that you could add even more if you wanted to. I don't have the power of all of us in here. I don't have the basic one, so I don't really have basic cards to pay for, so I didn't include that, but you could certainly put those in here. There's other ones like civilian. I don't think that he's a civilian, but doesn't stop you from putting extra resources in the deck. You could probably put 20 resources in your deck if you wanted to, or more, if you wanted to try to build something to really take advantage of his ability. And the reason why you do that, is because you want to get as many resources in here as you can, so that you can really power up his suit and power up his rifle. Those are the big ones. And then a lot of the characters that are in here take advantage of extra resources, like his signature allies. If you have those particular types of resources, Randall, if you have an energy resource, you can ready him back up. So there's lots of reasons why you could use resources for different things in this deck. Command authority, remove 3 threat from a scheme. If you paid for this event with a resource card, draw a card. You could probably build a pretty decent justice deck that draws a lot of cards using some of those basic allies like Nick Fury. There's several. Clear the area. One way or another, there's ways that you could draw a tremendous amount of cards. And if you throw like digging deep in there and you put White Fox in there, when you have to discard cards, you can also take advantage of that. So anyway, so that's my Bishop spiel, I guess, playthrough and spiel this evening. Really enjoying this brand new hero in the game. Right now, probably one of my favorites, but I could see where this could get old if I play it over and over and over again with all these different resources in there. I'll no doubt be playing Bishop some more this week, and maybe switching over to another hero next week for my playthroughs. But anyway, Board Game Lawyer here. You can catch me here on Twitch. You can catch me on YouTube. Oftentimes I'll post these videos to YouTube, and look forward to seeing you there as well. If you saw anything that I did wrong in this game, should I have lost? Did I do something wrong? Should Sabretooth have actually won? Please point that out in the comments down below. If I missed a trigger, or if there's something I botched on a rule, question that I had about a rule. I did have a question about a rule. If somebody could answer that for me, that would be fantastic. So keep an eye out for those as I go through, folks. So thanks for watching again today. Take care. I'm the Board Game Lawyer, and we'll catch you again later.